Once you've installed your Airgun regulator and you've got it set up and working correctly, it should provide you with many years service before it requires a service itself. Some customers have boasted that they've had the regulator installed for nearly 10 years and they still haven't had it to pieces and replaced the O-ring seals. Now, at the point where it does start to become troublesome, you're most likely going to notice a small leak from the breathe hole, and this is generally all that can go wrong with a regulator. And this is very simply caused by the age hardening, wear and tear on the piston stem O-ring and the piston head O-ring, although there is also a chance that it could develop a leak past one of the body case seals, again just due to age hardening. Now at this point you're most likely going to need to replace all the seals on your airgun, because I think that you'll find that they've all become aged and withered with time. Now, in regards to the regulator, there's a video on this channel which shows you how to fully strip and service and reassemble the regulator. But in this video I'm just going to show you two quick tips. One, before you take the regulator to pieces, and two, for when you've fully reserviced it and assembled it. So to start with, the first tip is taking into account that you aren't necessarily the person that's installed this regulator, and you might have bought one second hand or bought a rifle with one installed that's been in there for many years, and so you don't know how the regulator's been adjusted to start with. And so before you take it to pieces, you need to take special note of where the red dimple or depression is on the back of the pressure adjuster screw. On this one, it's still in line with the slot in the front of the body case, but this isn't necessarily going to be the case on your regulator, because many people adjust the pressure of the regulator up or down slightly to get it to work perfectly in their gun. So the first thing is, make sure that you mark the case wherever the red dot is. So if it's not in line with the slot in the body case, put another mark on the case itself. And the next thing is, measure the depth to the adjuster screw. So use something to measure that depth, or count the number of turns it takes to get the head of the screw flush with the front of the body case. Now the second big tip is, if the regulator has been working perfectly okay, apart from the fact that it's now started to leak, when you service the regulator, then there's probably no need to polish off and clean out the small mark caused by the knife edge face onto the front of the adjuster screw. So you can just clean this component and degrease it and make sure that it's nice. Now if that's what you're going to do, you want to put the regulator back as close to the original as possible, because if it's been working perfectly okay, the piston will have slightly worn into the bore of the body case. Although you won't be able to see or measure this, there will be some wear where things have started to fit together really nicely. And so to make sure that you reassemble it in exactly the same way, all you need to do is, like on this one, scratch or put a small dot punch mark on the edge of the piston, and then also put a mark on the body case. These just need to be deep enough so that you don't clean them out whilst cleaning and servicing the regulator. And then when you put the regulator back together again, make sure that the line or dot punch on the front of the piston head lines up with the mark that you've put on the body case, and that should hopefully ensure that the regulator continues to work as perfectly as it did before. Now the second tip, this is for once you've reassembled and re-greased your regulator, and it's something that we do but we've not mentioned before, is quite simply, if you're wondering whether you've got enough grease on and it's spread evenly enough around the bore of the body case, it's quite simple, and all you need to do is put a 5mm thread, screwed thread, into the front of the piston if it's the Mark 5 or 6. Or alternatively, you could hold in the drill the front of the body case here and simply give it a spin. and that should have distributed the grease nicely and evenly around the inside of the piston bore. So for more information on servicing your regulator and putting it back together again, please see the other 2 videos on this subject that are in this playlist.